So, yeah, here I am in my room. The lighting is appalling. It's actually daytime, but I'm in Scotland. So, it's a really, really grey day out there. So I apologise for the lighting. I've tried to do everything I can. But I'm here to talk about a very special guitar, and yeah, it was something I bought in 2005, I think. Yeah, 2005, 2006, maybe early 2006 actually. It was the first thing I ever bought from eBay. I bought this guitar from a guy in Minneapolis, and he owned it from new. He told me he'd actually ordered it from the factory because the colour wasn't a colour that the factory were producing that year. I think they'd stopped, and so it was a special order. I was instantly completely in love with it because of the colour, but also because of the guitar and the make and the history and what have you, and I'll get onto that. Colour was something that really appealed to me, not least because of Paul Weller and Bruce Foxton's usage of this colour and this guitar in the Jam. I'm going to show you some B-roll of opening the case, and I'll show you the crazing, the lacquer checking that's happened over the years. Pretty much how it came to me. So not a lot has changed since I owned it, apart from like a few dings and a bit more wear, I guess. I did gig with this guitar between sort of 2006 and probably the last time it was used was maybe 2010, 2011. A good few live gigs and a lot of rehearsals with it, and the inevitable not being placed in a stand correctly, being placed against a desk, all that kind of stuff. But it's still a great guitar. The reason I'm making this video is because I'm considering selling it, with some caveats to that. And those caveats pretty much being, it was my dream guitar. It was the guitar that I wanted for a long, long time. I actually had a Rickenbacker 360 in the late 90s that I gigged with, and that was a Fireglow 360 with the the traditional kind of curved front. The guitar I'm about to show you is a 360 WB, so it's the 330 shape. It's got the non-contoured front edge, and it's double bound. I think WB, model signifier, stands for with binding. I think I might be wrong. You can tell me undoubtedly in the comments. I'm going to show you that guitar now, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more. So here it is. I am incapacitated. You might have seen he's enjoying the warmth of my oil-filled radiator. So yeah, so this is the 360 WB, and the colour is Burgundyglo. And again, Paul Weller and Bruce Foxton both played Burgundyglo Rickenbackers. Actually, maybe 77, 78, I think. But it's a 360 WB binding, front and back. Yeah, interestingly, this is only something I've realised in the past couple of years, but it doesn't have sound hole binding. So I went on a bit of a web search about this, and apparently it's just a thing. I don't know whether it was particularly with early 80s Rickenbackers. This is in 1981. I don't know whether it was an early 80s thing or whether they've continued to do this, but some had binding for the sound hole, some didn't. And this one didn't. It's just it's kind of painted on the edge of the sound hole. It's slightly rough, but there we go. R-tail piece, standard pickup configuration. I'm one of those people that has always played the Rickenbacker on the bridge pickup. I bought this for, I think with import duty in 2006, I think I bought it for £1,100. Rickenbackers really seem to hold their value, and they're expensive off the peg as well. But they produce in small numbers to keep the market buoyant, so you can be on a waiting list if you want a new Rickenbacker, unless it's in stock at a retailer. It's a fantastic guitar, but it suffers from all of the things that Rickenbackers just suffer from. Like, it's, if you open a door and the temperature changes, it'll go out of tune. The tuners are Grover, I want to say, or Schaller. What are they? They are, yeah, Grover. One has been replaced, it broke, but that is in the case. But it's a Grover copy, it looks exactly the same. Well, it's not exactly the same. It's not a kidney shape, it's a bit more of a squared shape, but you wouldn't notice. The crazing on this guitar is crazing, checking, whatever you want to call it, patina, aging, relicking, something relicked. This is natural, baby. It's amazing. And I'll try and show you some close-ups. Depending on the lighting, and the lighting is awful today, this can appear to be almost cherry red to a very dark wine red to a proper burgundy with a slight glow to it, but also even to like a very deep maroon, almost to a black. Yeah, you can see the wood grain through the finish in certain lights. In other lights, it looks completely solid, as if it's just a solid painted colour. I think it's a beautiful colour. Yeah, it was my favourite, aside from the fire glow, because of the jam. The frets are, I don't think they've been replaced or refurbished or refinished or whatever you want to call it. I think they're the original frets, and the fretboard itself does have some wear. It's not particularly deep. It looks worse than it actually is when you're playing it. You've really got to want that sound. You've really got to want that kind of very clean, jangly, chimey sound, or that overdriven sound, which is very mid-rangey. There isn't much natural sustain. The neck is very thin. The fretboard is quite thin. It can be a struggle if you've got fat fingers. My fingers have definitely got fatter through age, along with pretty much every part of my body. Yeah, but it is just a lovely thing. But I don't use it. I don't play in bands anymore. If I do sort of recording, I gravitate towards a clean sound. So I've got numerous options for that. Having said that, when I did get this out yesterday and considered making this video, I actually put it off for a day, and I'm doing it today. Excuse my throat. Yeah, I loved it again. I loved it all again. Playing through my little Fender Princeton reverb amp. It sounds fantastic, with a little bit of drive. Well, sort of clean boost, kind of Klon style drive. I fell in love with it all over again. So it's a very difficult thing to decide whether or not I'm going to sell this. I've got a figure in mind I think I would want for it, and you know, if anybody wants to make me an offer, I'll put my email address, which I may regret, I guess, on screen for you, and you can ping me in a message and say, hey mate, I'll take that from your hands. But yeah, I'll show you some close-ups, and I'll maybe even show you a little bit of playing, although I don't play much these days. What I do play is very simple. Yeah, actually, you know, poor workmen blames their tools, but they also blame their fingers. I broke this finger here a few years ago. I've got a metal plate in, and it doesn't bend quite as well as it used to, but I make it work. I don't play particularly complicated stuff anyway. It's always been chordal with the odd solo. I pretty much know one solo in a few different keys, you know. It sounds fantastic. I played this with a few bands, like I say, a certain Mr. Peter Doherty of Baby Shambles. We supported them at Nottingham Rock City in 2006. For some reason, I don't know how we got the gig, but we were first on the bill of 3 bands. We were on before Supernaturals and then Baby Shambles. Pete Doherty took a shine to this in the dressing room backstage. He said, "Are you selling it?" And I thought, well, you know, I've got kind of dollar signs in my eyes. I said, I might be if the price is right. He disappeared for half an hour with it. He took it away to go and show his manager and ask his manager if he could buy it. It was getting very close to us, you know, going on stage, and he still hadn't come back. And I was absolutely terrified that something was going to happen to my precious Rickenbacker. Anyway, he did come back eventually with a sheepish look in his eyes, and he said, "Oh, my manager says I can't buy it." Yeah, the dollar signs in my eyes evaporated, but I did get this lovely guitar back. I found one photo of us playing with that night in 2006, supporting Baby Shambles. It's a shit business. I realise I sound like one of those old fuckers, but I'm trying to sell this guitar, potentially. I'm telling you a little bit of its history and a bit of its provenance, and the cat hasn't moved, so, you know, he appreciates quality when he feels it against his fur. There we go. Rickenbacker 360 WB in Burgundyglo, 1981. All present, all correct.